See you. Sorry, guys. Interrupted. It had been a while that I have not seen Jack, so just saying hi.
All right, I've started the recording, so here we go. Substrate sync. Let me just share my screen. Great. All right. First item. This is a small one. I have a PR open, which is just about a small clarification about output schema handling for extension relations. I already have an approval from Young Chul, so I think this is enough for me to merge, but just wanted to see if anyone has any final thoughts here. Feel free to take a look, and if no one has anything to say, within the next day or two, I'll go ahead and merge. Yeah, but that's basically it for that item. The next one, maybe Young Chul, you want to talk about this one?
Yeah. So this one again, like Jack already sent approval. So this is about like my I don't know, like long time confusions or whatever. But indeed, there was some like misleading FAQ about the post-train filter. So this PR is basically make post-train filter again. So I think overall, I think it's just necessary change. But and I also checked the implementations, and it looks like it is only gluten that is actually using the thing. I am aware of another system that is misusing it, but that is fully under my control, so I cannot. Yes. So I think Ben's point is, so basically post-train filter in logical join is kind of redundant. I mean, it is redundant, but do we want to remove it or not? That I don't know. If we remove it, yeah.
That's my view, but my view is motivated only by the fact that we just don't use it. But I think simplicity is good unless it's necessitated. So I'm pro just removing it personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't argue that I'm using it and therefore don't remove it, but yeah, I think it came out of a combination of experience on systems that I had been working on and requests. I think it may have been that there were requests. I was trying to find, because I think that there's more history there than what I could find.
Yeah.
But I think that it may have been requests from the gluten team as well. Early on when they were trying to get stuff merged and whatnot. Right. I didn't find any Git history of that, but anyway, so I think I'm probably like a minus 0.1 on removing it, but like I'm not gonna fight for it. That's not super direct related to the things I'm working on.
I think I'm neutral to removing it. It's clean, but I as long as the documentation is clear and basically there's no people actually misuse it, I think it's fine. If some people find it use case, I think it's okay to leave it. And also, I don't want to making change like unnecessary, like breaking change. So that's
removing it is definitely a breaking change.
Yes, of course, yes.
Well, unless we mark it as deprecated and just say don't use this, but don't delete it for a long time.
All right, good point. Boo.
Yeah. Do we know what the level of support is for it in the other libraries?
That's a good point. I need to follow up that.
For me, if the other libraries all already handle implementation for it, then that's maybe a slight move for me to keep it, just to not have to go through and gut it from all of the other libraries. But if it's not being implemented by them, then I think for me that makes the case even stronger to just get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a philosophical thing here that I think that maybe Ben and I have different perspectives on, which is, to me, making a change to the spec should be like strongly held. Like especially like a removal of something. I think that my thinking of how I hear you, Ben, and this is not critical at all. It's just like, how do we want to have mentality here? Is you're like, hey man, no one's using this stuff, let's delete it, right? Which is a common standard engineering good practice, right? Which is like, hey, don't leave old cruft around. It's someone's gonna use it, it's gonna be broken, it's not good, right?
Yeah.
Which is, I think, one approach. The other approach is, when it comes to the spec, we don't change things unless we absolutely think we have to. And I have followed more the latter. I actually felt very uncomfortable about Young Chul's patch on post join filter, because I don't like benevolent dictator projects. Jesus and I have worked on some, and I don't want to be that. I don't want to be like, hey, well, this is what it was for, so don't change it. Brr. Like, I don't care like that. That's not what I'm about. Yeah. So anyway, so I think that there's the biggest question here is to me, is the high order bit is, how do we want to approach this kind of thing? Which is, it's a neutral feature. Like, that's kind of how I describe it. It's a neutral feature. I think, Ben, you're saying, hey, it's a neutral feature, let's just delete it. No one's using it, right? So it's a drag on maintenance, which I think is, if we want to have that perspective, we should just try to talk that way.
Yeah, I think also on your perspective, Jack, things also in projects of this nature, right, evolve over time. Like you said, I mean, right now, a lot of this stuff probably came because, hey, first cut, you can even take calcite algebra as a model. Well, it is there. Let's port it. Now, we are evolving. We are using this more. Well, some of the stuff might not be needed. I think at some point, project is more stable. You are just not gonna remove a field just because you think people are not using it, right? So I think this will also go through different stages over time. I think right now, in my mind at least, removing seems fine, but up to you guys.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, Ben, I'm not going to give you a +1 on or whoever on removing it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to block it, but you're going to have to, if you can find other +1s to remove it, great.
Okay. Yeah, I see. It's not an opinion I hold.
Does the affiliation rule applies here?
What rule? Sorry.
The affiliation. The +1 should coming from, like,
no. That's like, to me, I think that's how it should work sometimes. It's like, I'm not going to block this, but I don't want it to go in because I think it's good, because I don't know that I think it's good. But
it's a totally reasonable position. I mean, I don't feel particularly strongly in general about this specific one. I think it's just an attitude that I have in general, that to the extent possible, to be a simplifying force is good. And it's not as if I must spend my simplifying tokens here, but I'm trying, it's one place I can try. I think for me, the level of fight that I have for this, though, is really about the level of implementation in the libraries then. If it's well implemented, then it's fine, and I'm happy to keep it. But if it's basically not implemented by any library except glued in, then it feels like it was never even really a feature of Substrate in the first place.
So just to clarify for a second there, you're not meaning libraries. You're meaning our producers and consumers producing and consuming it. Like I'm trying to just make it clarity, because like to me, like the libraries are like the Substrate like Python library and the Substrate Go library are libraries.
Yeah, that is what I mean.
You mean is Substrate Go have this field in it?
I mean, do plans produced by Substrate Go, are they capable of producing plans with this field in it using the builder interface?
Oh, that's what you're mean. Okay. So it's not is Data Fusion using it? It's can this field be written in Red?
Well, to me, the question of if Data Fusion is using it would be downstream of if the libraries even make it convenient to produce or consume it. Although Substrate RS is sort of a special exception because of the fact that the library doesn't really do anything other than expose the protos. So of course, everything by definition is exposed. But that's not the case with Substrate Java and Substrate Go, right? Like there's definitely a distinction between the first class features which you're given convenient helpers to work with versus the things that exist in the protos, but you'd have to build the proto by hand to be able to use it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. So outcome, it sounds like, is if anyone else is willing to +1 deleting it, then we'll do that. Otherwise, we will move forward with updating the docs as you suggested.
I mean, I would suggest that you just merge this one, and if you want to delete it, do it as a patch.
You can do
like,
it.
So the two don't have to be coupled.
Right.
Fair enough.
Right.
Fair enough.
That's another one. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point. All right. Next item. I have had this PR open for a little bit of time, which is about this clarification between nullability binding and any type parameters. This is another one where technically with me proposing it and Young-Chul approving it, it is sufficient to merge, but also it's a little thorny. So it would be great to have someone else do a sanity check on it before it goes in.
It's 960. No, it's linked in that. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. And then next item, I think, is this you, Young-Chul? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this one, yeah, sec approved. So I made a small edit on this one. So it's basically reworking the documentation a little bit. Well, the main change is changing. So I wanted to try making things like non-breaking changes, but I don't know. Like I just made it as a, so in terms of like a proto, I just make it as a one-off so that like only one can say. And given that the complexity, I mean, I looked into these implementations, and basically auto-reference support is quite and rudimentary across the implementations. And also reference rail support, well, Data Fusion seems like it's supporting it, but I don't know. Like, I don't know like how Data Fusion can deal with like very, very complex plan with involving this like auto-reference. So I and then basically commented and that gave me a nutshell a little bit to Word, like making this a little more stronger tone that hey. So yeah, the one concern is if we do this and then word it as a, hey, this is actually, you have to use it in certain case, this, in theory, this could be a breaking change because there may be some plan out there doing this reference cell, like basically without realizing there's ambiguity, or maybe it happens to be unambiguous. But if we just make it the spec, like hey, this is like a must, then well, technically it's a breaking change. So yeah. So again, like we can follow the same step, like mandating could be a separate, but just allow this protobuf and things in.
Well,
Yeah.
I think when I was suggesting requiring it,
Mhm.
I'd have to go back to see what I wrote. But I think the idea I had was requiring it only in the circumstances in which the plan would be unclear otherwise.
Mhm.
And in a sense, the breaking change would be breaking plans which didn't make sense before, to just tell you that they don't make sense. I don't know if I would consider that a breaking change. Like, by definition, the plan must have had incompatible references, and they just didn't realize it, but the plan wasn't well formed.
Yeah.
I think the main thought I have is that when I think that we shouldn't be paranoid about breaking changes for things that we know are not well used yet.
Mhm.
Like, to me, like if you think about like a downstream consumer, right, who's
Mhm.
just reading the release notes, as long as the release note says breaking change, this specific thing, if you use it, you need to change things. And 99% of people are going to be like, oh, I don't use that thing. It's not that big a deal, right? The problem is when you say like, oh, we have breaking changes all the time, and they're on things that everybody uses all the time.
Mhm.
And so if we think that the right thing to do is a breaking change, we should do it. We should be careful to do it if it means that everybody downstream is going to get broke, right? Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so like to me, like a like, I don't know, it's like there's two spectrums, right? Like it's how big a breaking change is and how many people it impacts, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
so like here I'm like, okay, it's a moderate sized breaking change that impacts probably very few people. And so I'm not that uncomfortable with that happening. So I wouldn't be inclined to split it into a separate one. I'd be like, let's just do it. We're fixing it. Let's fix it. Like,
Okay.
I will say for our own usage, I would need to double check, but I am pretty sure that all the plans we use only have one root relation and don't have DAGs. And I know that is something we've wanted to do, but I don't think we do it now. So this would have no impact for us.
So does it mean like your Datadog is not using reference rel, or?
We are not using reference rels that traverse the boundary of a plan into another plan, or reference into a root rel. I mean,
I see. Okay. Okay. Good. Yeah.
which is the only circumstance where this would become required, right? So
Yeah.
are you using reference rels?
we probably are. That I can't say with as much confidence, though. I would have to investigate.
I was just if you knew, I was curious.
Yeah. I mean, internally, like we plan to use reference rel heavily, so
Yes,
this is a necessary change.
I get that sense.
Yeah. That's why I'm kind of like really trying to push this in the spec. Okay, so if I will.
You need a reapproval from me because you added the one up, right? Or you did the.
I did push, but I think the GitHub pipeline is complaining a little bit. So breaking chain check.
It's not labeled.
Yeah, I'll
Although-
decipher that message. Yeah.
Is this breaking change because of something having to do with pulling this field into a one of?
Could
No,
be.
that is not breaking change.
It's
Just
not
my
a breaking change.
recollection of proto buff pulling a field into a one of should not be a breaking change. Well,
Hmm.
I mean, I
then
guess it
how is
depends
it
on how you think about it.
recognizing? Okay. What are the ways to think about it?
Well, if you're saying, hey, any producer that produces the old plan, can the consumer consume it with the one of? Yes. Okay. The wire protocol is compatible, and any consumers that are expecting the new format that receive a message that is the old format will be able to consume it correctly.
Mhm.
Okay. However, if you produce the new plan, like the thing that is not possible here is if you said like you have to populate both of them, right? So that old consumers can consume and new consumers can consume, right? That's not possible with the one of, because you can only populate one of the things.
Mhm.
Right? So there's no possibility here for a producer to produce both versions. So if you consider that to be a breaking producer pattern, right? If you have a newer producer producing for an older consumer, that ain't gonna work.
Yes.
So,
I
I don't think of that as
think-
breaking pattern, but
I think in this particular case, also we are protected by the fact that we had this value must be greater than 1,
Right.
Because
Yes.
the dangerous case is when we don't set this field; it's a 0 value, but this must always be set. So
Correct.
okay.
yeah, which actually argues that the outer reference is not strictly the one of is not strictly necessary. I mean, I prefer it with the one of. It's a much clearer pattern. But you can figure out which of the two fields is selected without the one of, based on which one has a value of more than 0.
Yeah, that was originally. I mean, the original PR had that pattern.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, being like clear with intention is, I think, much better.
Yeah,
One
I
of
honestly don't think I
right
even
tool.
identified that when I suggested the one of, but
Mhm.
but I still think the one of is good.
One of is
Yeah.
better. Yeah, one of is better. It's just by looking at the proto. I mean, okay, only one of these is the bad thing, not both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, one really minor thing I'm just looking at here, but to say must be greater than or equal
I
to
know.
1 versus
Yeah,
must be greater
right.
than 0. Yeah,
Yeah.
super minor, but
And that is above. There's another
that
greater
is
than
funny.
0.
Yeah. That's, are we done with this one? Can we go back to the previous one for a sec?
sure.
Um,
This one,
yeah. I'm wondering whether or not, and this may be a giant breaking change, and therefore it's probably not a desirable thing.
Okay.
And you may have talked about this on the PR and I just missed it. But if you go to you want to just open the patch and go to line 133 of the, which doc is this? The scalar functions doc. Yeah. Why do we allow that?
okay. Let me think about it for a second.
So the basic question is that you got this in the case that you're using whatchamacallit, whatever it's called, not declared output. Sorry, that's the wrong line.
Okay.
Mirror. Sorry, let's look at mirror, like line 103, let's say. Okay. In the case that you're using mirror, that means that the actual nullability of the arguments is what is the output nullability. In that case, why would we ever allow the input arguments to be declaring nullability?
Could you repeat that
Why
one more
would you
time?
allow question mark in any argument in the mirror case? That's really the question. Why would we allow a question mark in any mirror case as an input argument or an output argument? We don't allow it in the output argument, I think.
Oh, are we talking about the difference between declaration versus invocation? I think like the declaration is we don't allow nullability, but I thought the meaning of mirror was
so
that,
so the rule is we do not allow it to be in the declaration.
yes.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
maybe this could be clear.
Right.
So this is
Okay.
the declaration. We don't allow it. That was a change that we did after one of these things.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
This
Okay.
is meant
That
to
makes
be
sense. Okay. That was
in
the question.
practice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Got it. So yeah. So it might be if it isn't stated in this particular section when you're talking about this stuff, it might be good to have there be a good reminder that declarations of mirror, right? If where's someone going to go when they're looking at mirror, right? And the moment there's a table with some examples, people are going to look at the examples, which is what I did.
Yeah.
So saying like,
This
you know,
one
like
might come
David
out
has a
better when it's
header.
on the website, you know?
yeah, that might be true. That might be true. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be a nice feature one day to have, something that spins up an experimental site to go to on doc change PRs, but one day.
Yeah, that's it. That's definitely a Claude Code 2-minute thing. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think you're seeing us looking through it. Like this is thorny. But when I originally opened this PR, and I honestly have not looked at it in a bit of time, but at the time, what was motivating it was that we actually did have an incident caused internally from not being sure how to interpret this interaction between nullability handling and these any type parameters. So we do have an incentive at Datadog to figure out the correct behavior here. And what I have proposed here, I am not saying is the best way, but it is the only way I could think of that felt consistent with the existing docs. So,
you know what I think may actually make this clearer, and I don't know, maybe it's fine as you said with the rendering, but is put the declaration on every row.
that's an interesting idea.
Just add as another column, just so it's like super clear. Here's the declaration. Here's the invocation. Because I see now what you're doing with like, hey, the header is the declaration, and then this is the example of the invocations. But if someone's looking at this, it seems very easy to do what I just did.
I understand.
Because the invocation looks like a declaration.
At that point, if I should just collapse this all down to one table, then I mean, the whole section could just be one column, could be nullability handling. Yeah, be a big table, but maybe it'd be easier that way. Okay.
Why don't you take 2-minute look at it, or not 2-minute look, but take a quick look at it if you think, and you make a call. And as I was looking through this, I was like, wait, why do we allow this? I thought we didn't allow this. So that was what was happening in my brain. Yeah.
Well, good intuition, because we don't. So.
Yeah, I think that was in the back of my head. Is like, I thought we already decided this. The problem is I can't tell the difference between the things that were decided and the things that I happened to think when I wrote something a long time ago.
Yeah. Difficult. Okay. Last item.
Yeah, that letter join is supposed to be simple change. Yeah, just it depends on the auto reference thing. So, but
I think I waited to review this one until the outer reference one was sorted out.
Yeah.
Or at least for myself, I haven't looked at this one for that reason.
I see. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's just a simple extension to the logical join that just marking it as a retro join, so that the right-hand child can reference, or basically this will be another, say, sub-query boundary for the outer reference, and supporting, just natural join pattern with the like generic relational tree. So please take a look. I think, that's it. Yeah. This is one of the simplest change in the proto, like adding a field. Oh, 2 fields. Okay.
Yeah, but
No,
simple
no.
changes can be complex.
Okay. So that ID is from the outer reference. So it's really just adding a Boolean flag there. Yeah. That's about this retro drawing thing. And what else? Do we have any other topic? By the way, I forgot to introduce Goheng. Goheng is my coworker, Jesus Goheng, and I are all working on Substrate.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, this is Goheng. Yeah, we're Jesus, Yongchu, and I we're on the same team. Yeah, I don't have camera, so.
No worries. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So hopefully we can also like start to contribute more to the projects. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I think that's it for today.
Awesome. I don't think we've ever ended early in the time that I've been coming regularly. It's crazy.
It's awesome. See, Victor's not here. We're fast.
Oh, yes.
Victor
was the
those.
problem.
No, just kidding. All right. See everybody later.
All right.
Okay.
Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.